Hey YouTube, it's James here from the Wyvern Watch with another deck profile. I decided to run another one tonight. Another one of my absolute favourites. This is, of course, Blackluster Soldier. Again, another one that's an older deck, but I like to keep on top of it and keep it up to date as much as I can. And, of course, this deck has actually received a little bit of support recently, so why not sort of show it off and show everybody what it can do. Let's get on with it, why not, eh? Because this is my favourite ritual deck. In fact, I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's right, I only run one ritual deck, so one out of my 41 decks currently is a ritual deck. But let's kick things off. So first of all, we do still play one Blackluster Soldier. Obviously it's a vanilla monster anyway. I've decided to run this one because it's extra shiny and it's the ultimate rare from a Japanese set. No idea which one, but it's been in my collection a long time. I've just decided with it being a vanilla monster anyway, we'll play the Japanese version because it looks nicer. So we're still playing one of him. We are, of course, playing 3 of the big fella, so 3 Blackluster Soldier, Super Soldier. I'm not going to go through the effects because these monsters are relatively old. You know, this is the main guy you want to get out as quickly as possible, and this deck allows you to get this guy out an awful lot. And if you're not doing it every turn, then something's probably gone wrong and you're probably not going to win that game either. So you really need to sort of make sure you're using your resources appropriately and get this guy on board as soon as possible, pretty much every turn if you can. But definitely 3 of him. We're of course running one of the new guy as well. So this is Blackluster Soldier, Legendary Swordsman. This guy's in testing at the moment. I'm not doing the sort of adding the vanilla monsters in the deck just to accommodate for his second effect, but the fact that you can you know, skip your draw phase effectively and add a ritual spell from deck to hand is very, very important and obviously a useful one. So I've decided just to play him at 1 for now, see how it goes. I know a good friend of mine, Dark Magician, is playing the vanillas as well, just to try and utilise its full effect. I'm not quite there yet. I don't know what I'd take out to put those guys in, but he's come up with a very good idea of using 1 light and 1 dark, of course. But I'm just sticking with the 1 and see how it runs for now. Next, you don't run a Blackluster Soldier deck without Beginning Night, and of course you may as well get him out straight away. Evening Twilight Knight. So powerful in this deck, with them being light and dark. I'm running more of a chaotic build than I've seen before. So you're trying to utilize the fact that these guys are light and dark. But these guys, using them as ritual material to give the Blackluster Soldiers a extra 1 or 2 effects, depending on how many of these guys you're using, is absolutely brilliant. You know, when this Super Soldier Synthesis ritual card came out, these guys really had to be in the deck as 3 ofs as opposed to 2 ofs as they perhaps were before. But you know, the cracking looking cards as well. You know, the artwork on these guys is brilliant. I love this. But yeah, I'm really happy with this deck so far. Those guys are definitely 3 offs. And of course is as is Manju, of course. It'd be difficult to run any ritual deck really without Manju of the 10,000 hands, and he's light and he's level 4. And obviously he can grab you a ritual monster or spell from deck to hand, and who doesn't need one of those in the hands when running a ritual deck? This guy had to be reduced down to 1. Envoy of Chaos. It's a good hand trap. It will boost your attack points, of course, if as needed. But I haven't found massive use for him. I mean, yes, he's level 4, so he's handy, and he's dark, so he can be used with synthesis, and obviously utilize it in the graveyard as possible chaos, you know, tribute fodder sort of thing. So, you know, he is still a 1-off, and I've got to play him because he is a Blackluster Soldier card, but just the 1-off now because I've had to make room. I'm also running still 1 Sphere Karibo because we gotta love this guy, especially in this deck. you know, its main effect to when when an opponent declares an attack, you can send this card from the hand or graveyard to change the attacking monster to defense position. That's ideal, but also, excuse me, the second effect there is when you can banish this card from the graveyard as one of the monsters required for the ritual summon. So not only can you use Synthesis and potentially one of the Gaia monsters with Sphere Karibo to ritual summon in the first place, but you can also use it from the graveyard as well for doing it again, which is great. Just, you know, you definitely still have him at one. And talking of the Gaia monsters, we now still have Charging Gaia the First Knight and Arisen Gaia the First Knight. Charging Gaia is the monster you can summon on the destruction of Blackluster Soldier, Super Soldier. And I just like Arisen generally speaking. But I've just talked myself around to the fact I might have to switch Arisen Gaia for a second Charging Gaia because of its attribute being dark. Might have to think about that one, but still having the two of them I think is essential. And obviously if you do get both of them on the field, it leaves you open for a rank 7 play as well, which we do have in the extra deck. So the small Chaos package then, obviously we're running 2 Envoy of Beginning. Again, it'd be difficult to run a Blackluster Soldier deck without running the Envoy of the Beginning. We are also running a Levianair and Wyvern Buster and Collapse Servant as well. Again, level 4s and light and dark. I think it just benefits the deck overall and gives you a little bit more flexibility when we're talking about what's it called, Super Soldier Synthesis. So I think it works well. So yeah, they're all in there. Oops, don't keep that still. On to spells. So I'm still running Gateway to Chaos. I still like this deck, card. I don't feel the need for a Torrential Tribute, a Terraforming to, you know, boost the availability of this card. I think at 3 it's fine. But obviously it gets you a Blackluster Soldier and or a Gaia monster. But for every 3 spell counters, you're obviously getting the spells as well. So again, once you get going, the monsters are pretty much fluent on the field going to the graveyard, and you get picking up spell counters all the time. Your opponent's got to deal with it at the very least. Otherwise, you're going to be getting too much advantage in terms of ritual spells. Speaking a bit of draw power, I am also running Pot of Extravagance. Yes, there is an extra deck, but actually it's very rare I go into it, so it's very appropriate that Pot Extravagance is in here. Those extra 2 draws could be obviously critical for your ritual plays. And then the ritual spells, obviously the main one being Super Soldier Synthesis, the fact that you can, you got to get your levels right, but 1 light or dark from the hand, and then the opposite, light or dark from the deck, in order to summon any Blackluster ritual monster. So that will be any of the the OG one, the Super Soldier, or the Legendary Swordsman. So very, very excellent card. It's a shame it's in common. I'd like to see a higher rarity version of this card, but we'll settle for the common for now until they come around to doing it. But yeah, we want to see that as soon as possible. I'm still running 2 Super Soldier Rituals as well, which is not, they do need to equal 8, but it's more of a traditional ritual card, this one. I'm also running the original OG Blackluster Ritual as well, just for nostalgic purposes, if nothing else. Primarily level 8, so trading works as well, running it at 2. You don't want to have too many of these in your deck, in your hand, of course, so 2 is fine with me. And a couple of one-offs. You've got a Monster Reborn and, of course, a reinforcement of the army, because we've got a lot of level 4 warriors going on here. A couple of traps as well. We are running Drowning. I think that's quite appropriate in this deck because, you know, if somebody deals with your Blackluster Soldier, which is easily done, unfortunately, and your field's wide open, then this is drowning is quite impactful. People aren't expecting it, and it's one of your main sort of defences for when your Battleluster Soldier has unfortunately perished. And the last two traps, Super Soldier Shield and also Beginning of Heaven and Earth, both Blackluster traps, so I feel the need to run them. Beginning of Heaven and Earth isn't the best card in the world, but Super Soldier Shield has its uses. But yeah, I like to run the Blackluster options that are available. On to the extra deck. So you've already seen the Soldier of Chaos, of course, in its own deck in this case, which is great to see. You know, you use a Blackluster Soldier for its as one of its material, and you get its full effects. So always useful, and in Ghost Rare looks stunning. The other ones I'm running are Decode Talker. Move those over here. Excuse me. Decode Talker. Isolde, it's a warrior deck, I suppose it's there for a reason. Salamangreat Great Almirage, if everything's gone all wrong, we can link off and potentially use something from the graveyard. Number 60, number 101, Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, Heroic Champion Excalibur. You can get where I'm coming from here. This is all rank 4 stuff. Tornado Dragon, of course, for a little bit of backroom removal. We've got a Utopia and a Utopia Lightning. One Big Eye for the rank 7, plus the Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. Galaxy Eyes Full Armor and a Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon. So, if I'm honest, they don't get summoned an awful lot, but you know, the main guys are there if you have the options to go to. So that's what I was sort of going with that. But like I say, you're not using it an awful lot, but it's there if you need it, sort of thing. So yeah, that is the deck. Blackluster Soldier, again, one of my absolute favourites. I'll bring these guys back on again because they're super stunning. Hope you like the deck profile. Again, not the most competitive, but I run all decks because I'm an old guy, an old player, I should say. Well, old compared to you guys, I would imagine. I like to keep these decks up to date, but I still like to use majority of the actual cards that are available. Whether they're competitive or not is irrelevant to me. Thank you once again for watching. Again, a fledgling channel. Please do subscribe if you like the content. Have a look at the other videos as well. They're all deck profiles. You're not going to find too much on other stuff on my channel. Just a bit of a showcase of my cards. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave comments. Put a like on there. But like I say, throw me a sub and let's see if I can get this channel actually going. Thanks, guys. See you soon.